A man shopping at the grocery store was dragging a full shopping cart towards the checkout. But this was no ordinary day. Ethan Carter, 28, was a businessman who had become a millionaire at a young age, known for his numerous companies and investment successes, and seemed to have the perfect life from the outside. But behind all this success, there was a void in his life that nothing could fill. Neither his wealth nor his successes could fill that void. As Ethan approached the cash register, he was greeted by the warm smile of a young woman working as a cashier. Rachel. He read her name on her name badge. Rachel, 24, was a woman of modest means, living a very simple life. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun, and her face had a natural glow. But what really stood out was the warmth in her eyes. In that moment, Ethan was struck not only by Rachel's beauty, but also by her sincerity. Rachel said something to Ethan, but he was lost in the timbre of her voice and didn't understand the words. "Excuse me, could you repeat that?" he said with a slight smile. Rachel laughed lightly and repeated, "This item is on sale. It would be better if you buy the second one." Ethan smiled, but inside he was deeply touched. The fact that Rachel acted as if she were talking to a regular customer told him that she didn't care who Ethan was. Because of his wealth and status, Ethan was often surrounded by people who wanted to show off, but Rachel's behavior made him feel that she represented the true values in life. In that moment, there was the first glimmer of hope that the emptiness inside Ethan could be filled, but this would lead Rachel to enter into a relationship that her family disapproved of, and Ethan's biggest conflict with his mother. This encounter was the first step in a series of events that would change not only their lives, but also the lives of their families. When Rachel handed Ethan the money and gently said, "Have a nice day," Ethan felt something more in that simple sentence. He decided to follow these feelings that were leading him down a path he had never known before. However, he did not yet know the magnitude of the obstacles he faced. When Ethan left the grocery store that day, there was a strange excitement in his heart. For the first time in his life, he felt that the simple presence of someone gave him so much meaning. Rachel's sincere smile and warm demeanor were never far from his mind. He found an excuse and went back to the same store a few days later. This time he had made a few small purchases and was waiting in line just to have a few more words with Rachel. Rachel smiled in surprise when she noticed Ethan. "You're back again," she said sincerely. Ethan shook his head, laughing slightly. "I think I like it here," he said without taking his eyes off Rachel. Rachel took his words as a simple courtesy and, accustomed to talking to customers, continued. "It's easy to like us," she said with a light laugh, "but our prices can be a little hard to like." Ethan smiled, deciding to take a bolder step this time. "Actually, there's another reason I came here," he said. Rachel looked attentive, raising her eyebrows. Ethan continued, "For the past few days, I've been looking for an excuse to get to know you." Rachel was surprised, but impressed. However, due to her modest nature, she did not respond immediately. I'm just an ordinary cashier. I'm not the kind of person who would be of interest to someone like you." Ethan was even more surprised. "You're not ordinary, Rachel. If you can't see that, let me show you." Rachel smiled faintly and received an invitation for coffee from Ethan. Their first meeting took place at Rachel's favorite cafe. The more Ethan listened to her life story, the more fascinated he became. Rachel had a difficult childhood and started working at a young age to support her family. Despite her hardships, she had a hopeful outlook on life. As Rachel got to know Ethan's warm and sincere side, she realized that he was much more than a wealthy businessman. Ethan was unpretentious, selfless, and real. The two soon formed a deep bond. However, taking this relationship to a more serious level became complicated when Ethan's mother, Olivia, stepped in. Olivia was furious when she found out about her son's relationship with Rachel. "Son, this girl only loves you for your money. This can't be a coincidence," she warned Ethan. Ethan defied his mother's prejudices, arguing that Rachel was not like that, but Olivia's determination led him to make plans to test their relationship. She secretly sent a detective to Rachel's workplace to investigate her past. Meanwhile, Ethan and Rachel were trying to strengthen their relationship despite Olivia's growing reactions. Olivia even secretly made Rachel an offer: "Break up with Ethan, and I'll give you a lot of money." Rachel was horrified when she heard the offer and rejected it in tears. However, this incident hurt Rachel's pride. Although she did not tell Ethan what her mother had said, she became withdrawn. When Ethan noticed this change in Rachel, he approached her to see what was going on. "Rachel, you can trust me. I want to know what's going on," he said gently. After a long silence, Rachel confessed everything to Ethan. Ethan was shocked by what he heard. He didn't want to believe that his mother would go this far, but Rachel's tears couldn't change the truth. Ethan decided to confront his mother. But this confrontation would lead to consequences that would radically change both his and Rachel's lives. Ethan fell into a deep silence after Rachel's tearful confession. He was both angry and disappointed that his mother was the one who hurt the pride of the woman he loved. Knowing that this situation could not last much longer, Ethan prepared to confront his mother, Olivia. That evening, Ethan went to his mother's house, took a deep breath, and knocked on the door. As soon as Olivia opened the door, she saw her son's angry look. "Mom," Ethan said, his voice determined and yet resentful, "I need to talk to you." Olivia anticipated what her son was going to say, but she wasn't about to back down. Ethan had found out about the offer to Rachel and the detective. "Why did you do this to Rachel? How dare you belittle her and interfere in our lives?" he asked, his voice cracking. Olivia replied, keeping her composure. "I did it for your own good, Ethan. That girl is not on your level. She only loves you for your money." Ethan could no longer contain himself at these words. "You don't know Rachel, Mom. You are so prejudiced that you don't want to see her true character. Rachel gave me what money can't buy: love, loyalty, and sincerity. And you did everything you could to ruin that happiness." Olivia was surprised by her son's determination. The determination she saw in Ethan's eyes made her realize that she couldn't stop him, but Olivia still wouldn't back down. "My only mistake was trying to protect you," she said coldly. Ethan took one last look at his mother and took a deep breath. "One of the two women I love most in the world hurt my pride to protect me, and the other refused to understand me. But now I've made up my mind. I love Rachel, and I'm going to spend a lifetime with her. If you can't accept that, I'll never speak to you again." With these words, Ethan left the house without hearing his mother's objections. That night, he went to Rachel and told her he wanted to marry her. With tears in her eyes, Rachel hugged Ethan and said, "Yes." The wedding took place in a small but intimate ceremony. Ethan and Rachel celebrated the special day with friends who supported them. Ethan had not invited his mother to the wedding. Olivia was furious when she found out, but out of pride, she did not contact her son. Years passed, and Ethan and Rachel remained happily married. Rachel lived a life of kindness and love, never forgetting her difficult past. Ethan rediscovered his love for Rachel every day, while Olivia lived in silence with regret. Life is full of challenges, sometimes letting down those we love the most. But Ethan and Rachel's story proved once again that love is strong enough to overcome prejudice and intrigue. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.